guys remember during Prohibition, where alcohol was outlawed, people were desperately trying to get alcohol wherever they could and trying to, get it to be legal again as well. It's because it is one of the strongest coping mechanisms. They were begging for their coping mechanisms back so that they don't have to actually face the reality that they're surrounded by. And so it says the theoretical introduction. Give me control over a nation's currency, and I care not who makes its laws. Mayer Amschel Rothschild. Because if you have control over a nation's currency, you control the production, manufacturing, and the distribution of food, water, water quality and content, everything. So people who control the currency control the way of life of a society. And people will be subject to that person's authority. Now, it says today silent weapons technology is an outgrowth of a simple idea that was discovered. And Mr. Rothschild discovered the missing passive component of economic theory known as economic inductance. He didn't think of his discovery in these 20th century terms, and to be sure, mathematical analysis had to wait for the second industrial revolution. And they do talk about the Industrial Revolution in school as well. I mean, they focus on it probably year after year. Mr. Rothschild's energy discovery. Let's see. Apparent capital as paper inductor. So this is important. The currency that you have right now that is considered, a valuable currency is just paper. It's actually, in and of itself, it is worthless. It is just there as a substitute, so that's why it's worthless. It is a substitute representative of the wealth you supposedly actually own. So in gold, in products, in, what's it called, services. It is supposed to represent something that's not actually there. So, that is not actually physically there at the time. It's somewhere else, assuming you have it. Has the appearance of capital, but isn't it? Okay. In this structure, credit, presented as a pure element called currency, has the appearance of capital. So it has the appearance of something that's beneficial, but is in effect negative capital. So it's actually debt. Hence, it has the appearance of service, but is in fact indebtedness or debt. It is therefore an economic inductance instead of an economic capacitance. And if balanced in no other way, will be balanced by the negation of population, war, or genocide. So if they can't balance their budget, so if they can't balance what they have with their debt, so income versus debt, or budget versus debt, then they need to reduce the number of the population to sort of balance the scales again. So if you have, let's say, $100,000 in income in your budget, and you have 300 to 800,000 in debt, if you get rid of the population, less people to take care of, less money needed. That's the point. The total goods and services represents real capital called the gross national product, and currency may be printed up to this level and still represent economic capacitance. But currency printed beyond this level is subtractive. So the gross national, or the real capital, or the gross national product is how much you actually have. If money is printed, more money is printed than what you have, then it becomes debt. It represents the introduction of economic inductance and constitutes notes of indebtedness. Now, there was a short video on YouTube, which most people probably didn't see. They might have. It was a simple explanation of the banking system itself. Very simple. And it was removed. It was removed very shortly after I saw it. The point is, the person in the video was saying, if a bank has loans, $5 to two people, and demands $1 in interest, which seems like very little money in interest to a lot of people in the United States, probably $1 in interest, it's only put $10 into circulation, okay, because each person got 5, yet it's asking for $12 back. It is impossible. One person will always come up short. It does not matter how hard they work, because the money will not be in circulation for them to pay it back. So that's the point. It's a very simple way to explain it if someone is not able to understand it, but that's how that works. And that's why so many people are in debt. It's not because they're not working hard to pay back. It's because the money does not exist in the system. It is not in circulation. War is therefore the balancing of the system by killing the true creditors, the public, which we have taught to exchange true value for inflated currency, and falling back on whatever is left of the resources of nature and regeneration of those resources. So that explains the sort of banking and balance aspect of the budget. So when people say balance the budget, guess what that means? War. That means people are going to have to die to balance that budget. Either die or more borrowing, but you can only borrow so long before you need to start decreasing that debt or increase, making the whole thing sustainable. And that's where war comes in. So in the science of physical mechanics, in the science of the phenomenon, okay, they talk about potential energy, kinetic energy, and then energy dissipation. You guys can read through that if you want. I don't want to bore anyone right now, but